Well, my friend Lord Rees, who was at the time was the president of the Royal Society, Britain's most eminent scientific organisation, wrote a book called The Last Century ? I don't think he's moved that question mark. He was, of course, referring to 21st, not the 20th century. But I would have thought that one could put the question mark in slightly paler form. I think there are real dangers about whether we can live through this century and beyond. I think at the present time I would say they were more related to climate change than they are actually to nuclear power and certainly to nuclear weapons. But I may be being a bit optimistic. The real threat, I think, there is not so much the traditional United States-Russian confrontation. That's on the whole being reasonably well handled, and I think is falling in terms of its salience in the world. I think the real threat comes much more on what one might call long-lasting confrontations, of which two are the most important. One is the Indo-Pakistan confrontation over Kashmir, not only Kashmir, but primarily Kashmir. Both of them nuclear powers, both of them countries with very strong political sense of their need to look at their traditional enemy with considerable concern. And also, I think the other one had kind of got round it, is of course Israel and the Arab states in the Middle East. Now, one of the big incalculables is whether the Arab dawn, in a sense, almost I think one might describe it as the Arab Enlightenment, which we saw, of course, in the United States and in Britain at the end of the 18th century, whether that will in fact mean a greater awareness of the dangers to human life, of human values, of human civilization, and consequently a greater emphasis on peaceful conflict resolution, or whether it will feed into a fairly narrow nationalism and with, as it were, ambitions to try to push outwards, to try to perhaps grab land and seize other countries. We don't know the answer to that yet, but I have enough faith in human nature to think it's more likely to be the first than the second. I hope I'm right, but a lot will depend, I think, on whether Israel in this new situation takes more seriously, frankly, some of the international commitments she has made about ending the building of settlements, about removing the blockade from Gaza. You can get away with things when you're talking to other autocratic states, and you are yourself a democracy. Much harder to get away with addressing other democracies in terms that exclude their people's popular opinion. And I think that means that Israel is going to have to move her position to some extent in the face of what is otherwise a very welcome development. Will that do?
That's wonderful.
Okay. I must go back into Adam Smith now.